So, yeah, the guy with the toque. Yeah, you. Yeah.
Jonathan kind of highlighted in the movie kind of the superficial nature of video game criticism. What do you guys think it's going to take? What's it going to take to kind of have video game criticism be a little bit more deep or, personal, like the movie kind of described?
I think it's going to take, and this is going to sound really bad, it's going to take good journalists. I mean, that's kind of, the reviews that he was getting that were superficial were just people that were just trying to get the review first. And it doesn't just happen in games journalism, it happens in all journalism. Everybody tries to be the absolute first to report on something. It's really bad in games journalism, but I think just like yesterday they reported that guy that was the Penn State coach died, and a bunch of people reported on it and nobody fact checked it or anything. So it's just gonna take people actually caring about what they're reviewing to do that and not just be the first. And I mean, there's a lot of really great games journalists out there. Like Jonathan Holmes was in the movie, and he's amazing, and he cares, and he's really passionate about it. So I think that's what it's going to take. It's just everybody just needs to stop being the first and maybe try to be the best. It's kind of it. Yeah.
Why is gaming basically hiding in plain sight? Because I grew up playing games. The popular press covers the big launches, but it seems like such an integral part of the culture that, as you said, is ignored.
I don't know. I think maybe a lot of people just sort of avoid it because games are for nerds. That's what we kind of grew up with. You play video games. I was in 4th grade. Well, I'm sure everybody here was in 4th grade, but I would play games and I was looked at as the loser, because me and my friend John would compare what games we beat, and the football players were the ones that were, they were the ones that were normal. And that's kind of what everybody grew up with, but I think that'll eventually change because it is such a huge part of our culture, and it is, it's all encompassing. I mean, everybody has a phone that can play a game, and yeah, that's all.
Right here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. First of all, amazing film. Somehow all the movies I've seen so far have been documentaries, and this is the best movie. I came to this a fun game movie, but it was really emotionally compelling. I loved it. But I wanted to ask Tommy a question. In addition to all the independent games that we saw in the film, game developers we saw in the film, how many independent game developers are out there?
Countless. I mean, really? especially nowadays, because there's so many tools for just anybody to make games. I mean, you don't have to be like a CS major or anything. You just at this point in where we are, you just have to want to make a game, and you just have to have the desire to do it. And that just breeds tons and tons of people just making random stuff. They're all not, blockbuster million copy sellers, but there are just tons and tons of people. I mean, if you ever went to GDC or something, I would say that there's more independent game developers there than there are actual vendors and company people and everything. There's just so many.
So, of course, Super Metroid is really thematically kind of innocuous and whimsical and stuff. So what made you choose to set the Binding of Isaac, in Judeo-Christian mythology, which is, kind of the opposite, really heavy and stuff?
I actually didn't do that one. I was moving, and Edmund started that game with Florian. So to answer for Edmund, he just wanted to do something different. I mean, that's the best answer I can give.
Just to update everybody, Edmund and Tommy released their game about a year ago on Xbox, and then Edmund was so compelled to make games that he made another one in 3 months and did crazy well. It's called The Binding of Isaac. It's available on Steam. He made it faster than it took for us to edit the movie. Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Just great mad props all around, both Tommy and YouTube. So 2 questions. Tommy, do you want to talk a little bit about your follow-up coming up, what you're working on now, as much as you can, and then for developer for YouTube, what are your hopes or plans for wider distribution?
I can't talk too much about the first, well, there's actually two we're sort of working on right now. One will come out soon, one will take a while. I'm not going to say what the names of these are, because we learned that you don't talk about your game because time on the internet is somehow much longer than it is in real life. So Meat Boy took 18 months, but people thought this has been in development for 5 years, and it's like, no, it hasn't. So yeah, but I mean, basically all I've been doing is I've taken like all of the sort of mistakes that we made with Meat Boy just as far as launch goes, and I mean that was obviously like time compressed due to like circumstances and everything. We're just trying to make, I'm personally trying to make like the engine and everything better. So that's basically where I have been. Is I've been in vector rendering land and like stability land. But I mean we have our next games like planned out, like we know exactly what we're doing, and one day you'll know the name of these games.
And in terms of distribution, that's something we're trying to figure out right now. And as part of this process, when we started this, we started it as an independent film, and in many ways we were kind of mirroring independent game. Like we kind of made it a little bit like an independent game. It was kind of like open development. We announced it even before we started, and it took us 18 months, and people said it felt like 5 years. And so we had this self-distribution thing kind of lined up, and that's what we thought we were going to do. But never in anyone's strategy do you ever like write down premiere at Sundance. And when that does happen, it does change things. And so now we're looking at really cool opportunities that may fit or may augment, or we're going to do what's best for the film and best for the people out there. And that's what this week will be about. And hopefully we'll have a good understanding of distribution and what we're going to be doing after. How are we doing time-wise?
You got one more question.
One more question, right there.
Me?
Yeah.
I was curious, Tommy, on the heels of this great success, it was kind of funny to see the kind of unhealthy way you were living with the grease stains on the paper, etc. I mean, has any of that changed?
Yes. It's hard. So like I have like an insulin pump now, and that's good. And I try to obviously I've gained weight, and I'm not nearly as stressed out as I was. But yeah, I don't know if like success made that, but it was more I wasn't totally enveloped with work that made me try to be a little healthier and actually eat and gain weight and sleep. So, but yeah.
Thank you.